The following segment is sponsored by Mrs. Wordsmith. Summer brain drain, or sometimes called the summer slide, affects students of all grades around the country. Research shows that elementary school students lose on average 20% of their school year gains in reading over the summer break. Brandon joins us with more. Welcome to the show, Brandon. It is great to see you.
So good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Okay, what is summer brain drain for students, and how big of a problem is it?
So I think any educator in the Salt Lake City area will tell you they've been thinking about this for years. We know we send a kid home for the summer and they come back the following school year, and many of them have lost a lot of learning. It's a serious problem. A student can lose up to 20% of what they learned in a school year over the course of the summer.
Wow, that is so crazy. Okay, what happens to achievement over time due to the brain drain?
Of course. So right now, just to set the table, 36% of fourth graders, 37% of high school students read on grade level. So many of our kids are behind. And so any loss over the summer only presents a greater problem. And this is a snowball effect. We know a kid can lose up to 2 years of learning over multiple summers if they're not engaged in the right way. And I think it's important to remember it's not just about the outcomes here. This is about also their joy and their confidence. A kid who falls behind makes it harder for them to engage in learning. We all like to do things where we feel good, and a kid is not feeling good when they're failing all the time in school. And so it becomes even harder for them to participate and catch up. It really is a snowball effect that we have to pay attention to.
Sure, that's true. And we've all heard about the science behind reading. How can parents deploy it at home?
Of course. I think it's important for parents to remember that summer is supposed to be fun, and we can keep it fun while also figuring out ways to introduce learning into a kid's routine. And so I'm a video game guy. That's what we're up to at Mrs. Wordsmith. I love building games where we're able to create these bite-sized opportunities for kids to reinforce skills, but also to have fun. We have a game Ridiculous that I love, which is for our early readers, where they just get to practice those basic skills, the early phonics skills and identifying sight words, as well as our game Word Tag, where kids are expanding their vocabulary game, but also getting to play a game that they really love. Families can do everything from a word a day in their house using one of our flip books or any other sort of tool where they're just choosing a word and then creating a competition in the home where you're figuring out who uses it the most. And then there's the age-old strategy, which is just reading to our kids. 20 minutes a day, reading to them or reading with them, but creating a culture of reading in the household.
So important. Okay, with some solutions existing in app form now, how should parents navigate managing screen time? It can be tricky.
It's tricky, and I'm a parent. I'm thinking about this all the time myself. I think we have to remember that, not all screen time is created equal. So choosing a game for your kid to play for 30 minutes that is helping reinforce their vocabulary and build those skills is very different than a kid scrolling social media for an hour. Choosing a game, an early phonics game that's helping your kid develop some of those early skills is very different than a kid watching 4 hours of television. I like a little and often dosage, right, where it's a little bit here, and then you break it up, and then you can do it again a little bit later. Summers are hard. I'm a working dad myself. We're juggling a lot, and the schedules are up in the air. I think it's okay to use a screen and just know when it's a little bit too much, and also know what you're putting in front of your kids.
Yes, the right screen time can make all the difference. Brandon, thank you for all the tips. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.